It really is imperative for England tonight that they come out of the traps and that they fire on all cylinders. But before the match starts, the Kiwis gather. They will face up England, and we will have the haka as the gauntlet is well and truly thrown down to the Englishmen here in Huddersfield. I wonder whether the Kiwis will face up to England and walk towards them as they did in that World Cup final last year against Australia in Brisbane. Graham didn't look terribly impressed, but Adrian Morley seemed to enjoy it. And there's no doubt that the battle up front will be absolutely critical to tonight's outcome.
Certainly will, Eddie, and I'm sure that's the reason why Tony Smith has made the move of starting with Sam Burgess. We know the battle royal against the prop forward, Fui Moi Moi. It's been well documented this week that they will get into it. A big responsibility for this man, the Frenchman, Thierry Alibert. Let's hope that he gives them plenty of room to move. He's got to be on his game tonight because this is going to be cruel. We often talk about when you're doing in the tackle, you've got to peel the skin back. You've got to make it rare and rough and tough, and that is what we'll see.
So, sudden death Saturday. It's do or die for England and New Zealand. Australia await. Who's going to get to Ellen Road? Kevin Sinfield gets this game underway. And such anticipation in the country, hoping that England will make it. And there's the first hit of the match. And Gareth Ellis leading the way for England. And he felt that, did Sam Perrott.
Certainly did, he didn't miss it, and this is why the reason they've got to get into it. They have not started well. Is that a penalty? I think you'll find it is.
Ball stolen in the tackle.
The Kiwis are fired up for it as well, and it's not surprising. They go through the haka. You can see there the shoulder went up, the arm went from Ellis. They mean business. Let me get to them as quickly as possible. Boy, this is going to be one tough game. Nowhere to hide out there tonight.
Drive forward by Sia Soliola, the man on his way to St Helens in 2010. Currently the Sydney Roosters alongside his name. Thomas Luluai of Wigan, the only Super League player in this New Zealand team. Adam Blair bounces off the would-be challenge of Sam Burgess. Just over the halfway line, New Zealand with Luluai. And here comes Fui Moi Moi. He goes down on the third tackle. Luluai again at dummy half. Looks for Benji Marshall and finds him. He then gets it to Pritchard. That's the fourth tackle gone in this set of 6 for New Zealand as they threaten the England line. Marshall pops the ball up here for Frank Paul Nuasala. But he is dealt with by Graham, by Peacock and by James Graham. Last tackle here for the Kiwis. It's with Lance O'Hire, slides the kick in, bounces nicely for Sean Briscoe. Briscoe ducks under the first tackle, and he manages to make a bit of priceless ground forward for England.
Pretty good position as well by Sean Briscoe. With plenty of nerves on out there. We must remember it's a very young, inexperienced three-quarter line. That's why it's important the likes of Graham and Morley, Peacock, Ellison Sinfield and Burgess. They've got to make sure they control things. They've got to take the heat out of this game in the opening 10 minutes.
Tony Smith knows that last year England surrendered a 24-8 advantage to lose 36-24 in Newcastle last year. Then they lost the World Cup semi-final a week later, 32-22. There can be no slip-ups this time.
And I think they'll be rather disappointed. They've kicked on the third tackle, but if you look at where the fullback Lance O'Hire has played the ball on the 40-metre line, that's a positive position for New Zealand to begin a set, and not how England wanted to start the match.
And they're coming forward again. They're over the halfway line, are New Zealand. That is Bryson Goodwin, and he plays the ball to Luluai. He has a little scamper forward. And it's Graham and Morley who deal with that threat. Here now is Benji Marshall. And he gets the ball away to Nathan Feen. Nathan Feen gives it to the second row forward, Soliola, and he was met by good tackling from England. That's not the best kick from the Kiwis. It's sliced, but it's found a black jersey. And it's great work by Kyle Eastman. He was all over Bryson Goodwin then. It's the turnover.
Not only that, the pressure on the kicker was very good as well. They look fired up for it, but yet they seem to be in control of it. Big responsibility, Kyle Eastman, with his young partner, Sam Tompkins.
It's no surprise that New Zealand are looking to attack England out on their left-hand side of the field. Bridge, Eastman and Fox are the three defenders closest to England's right flank, and those are the ones who'll be asked so many questions early in this match.
The big thing that's evident to me so far from the first two sets of defence that England have performed is the amount of time they've spent in the tackle. If you compare that to last week's game against Australia, where they got blown away in the first half, Australia were able to dominate when they were going forward, play the ball quick. In a couple of sets so far, the big thing you notice is the number of players in the tackle and the amount of time they're taking to peel off. And Terry Alibert so far has allowed that.
Sam Tompkins with the kick. He was under pressure from Moi Moi, but that's a great kick. Comes out of the sky, and well, maybe it was a little bit too far forward from the onrushing England players, but Lance O'Hire deals with it. But then Morley and Tompkins come in with an important tackle. Tompkins again, good work at marker. Perrott straight to the floor.
Certainly is, and we saw there that they're going to ask the questions. That's what they did against Australia in the second half. And we saw the little run there from Kevin Sinfield. He'll control things from the dummy half position.
Luluai, and here's the prop forward Nuasala. That's the fourth tackle. Good set defensively so far from England. They're still penned inside their own half. Moi Moi will drive it forward again. Morley was equal to the threat, as was Sinfield. Luluai, here now Nathan Feen, and he will drop the kick over the top. But it's too deep. It scoots away on this damp grass. And England will restart on the 20-metre line.
Well, to be fair, both sides, they've not got the radar right in the kicking department, and that just gives you some indication, perhaps the nervousness, the tension that's out there. It's sudden death, they know that. Waiting for them at Australia in that final.
Indeed so, they're aiming to bridge a 5-year gap of the English. In 2004, Brian Noble's Great Britain reached the Tri-Nations final against Australia at Ellen Road. They lost, of course. But England want another crack at Australia after last week. Morley, good run.
Tremendous stuff there. There wasn't any second phase. He just had the opportunity to maybe offload, but there was no one there. Got to make sure that you're not dying with the football. You've got to ask and pose the question, but you've got to support the man with the ball.
Sinfield fires the pass to Eastman. He will hoist the high kick. This is a good one. And Briscoe is after this. Well claimed in the air, though, by Perrott. Oh, and Briscoe's got it back.
Pinched it. Great opportunity. Quick play the ball. Sinfield wants to get on with it.
Here is Eastman, and New Zealand are caught offside out wide.
Well spotted by the French official. Not surprisingly, the Kiwis just having a little bit of a talk. The captain, Benji Marshall. It's a bit of a ploy. It was taken. They were claiming that he was touched in the air. I'm not surprised. It looked that way.
Well, he was touched, but he didn't tackle him. This is Jamie Peacock, and England threatening the New Zealand line for the first time tonight. It was Sinfield. Oh, an awful pass. They've lost such momentum then. Here is Briscoe, but the black line of defenders have moved forward, and no way that Briscoe could get through him.
It's getting a little bit tasty out there. Jamie Peacock, after playing the ball, he went for Thomas Luluai. They had more than a few words to say to each other. It's boiling.
Sinfield finds Burgess, and Burgess trying to barge his way through that Kiwi defence. He's got to within 2 metres of the line, and Sinfield there is waiting at dummy half. Better pass this time. It is short ball, but Morley was thundered to the ground by Fui Moi Moi. Here is Tompkins, slides the kick in, bounces off the Kiwis' feet. It's picked up by Luluai. Threat is averted for the time being.
It could have gone either way, this. Bounced away, and he's claiming that it hit a Kiwi player. It did. Was he in an offside position?
And there's an interesting play with the ball at the moment. Kieran Foran in number 3 hasn't played a game for 7 weeks. In the last 45 games that he's played, only 3 times has he started as a centre. He's primarily a standoff, and I'm sure England, in preparation for this game, will have looked to have targeted him, put him under pressure. Only 19 years of age. Let's ask some questions of him at the international level.
He's come here, though, with a big rap, hasn't he? And he is from the Manly club, and he's one of the young guns at Manly who they're hoping to build on in years to come. That's a great kick. It turns Briscoe around.
Well, he must have some ability. I haven't seen much of the kid play at all, but he must be a fair play if you're keeping a player like Krishnan Inu out of the team, or the Parramatta player who's been in sensational form this year. So Kieran Foran must be a fair play. A penalty there, cheap penalty really, and that's a relieving one for England, and they're now able to move down the field. They should be able to get this somewhere around the halfway line and be able to build some pressure again on New Zealand.
That was poor play by Nathan Feen. Great kick and chase, and what does he do? He goes swinging with the arm. Silly play.
So England will start 10 metres inside their own half, and here now is James Graham. Gets England to the halfway line on the first tackle. Sinfield, Morley hit that at pace. Good tackle low down it was, though, by Soliola.
That's what we've got to do, and that's the reason why Sinfield's out there. Look, he's just missed out 2 men. He's really mixing it up a little bit from that dummy half position. He's got to do a little bit running from his own as well. Add a bit more confusion. There he goes. Good stuff.
Sinfield, great ball. Here's Burgess. Burgess bubbles away from the tackle. It's Eastman. It's Eastman under the post for England. Kyle Eastman. First start in an international jersey. Winning his 3rd cap. And England get the start that they wanted. Great build-up from the English. And Kyle Eastman of St Helens. The man who loves the big occasion. He scored all 10 at St Helens points in the grand final, and he's just scored the first 4 here for England in Huddersfield tonight.
Great build-up. All came about by the silly penalty given away. It got them 45, 50 metres upfield, and as I say, run from dummy half, and there was Burgess. Support play. Big man, finished by the little fella. Tremendous start. Not surprising. You saw Burgess jump up into the air, but look at the support play. You can't afford to go high on that big fella, and this guy has got the speed. Tremendous start. The build-up, superb.
20 years of age, Kyle Eastman. Runner-up to Sam Tompkins, who's alongside him tonight at standoff in the Young Player of the Year vote. And Kevin Sinfield easily adds the extras. Barry!
That was a fantastic try for England. Close support play. Sam Burgess keeping his feet. When I was watching the Kiwis, I was watching their body language, seeing what kind of a reaction they would have. A lot of pats on the backs. Never mind, lads. Let's get back to it. No panic from the Kiwis.
So Kyle Eastman, who plays for St Helens, but of course comes from Oldham. And Kevin Sinfield, who plays for Leeds, but comes from Oldham. 2 Oldham lads with the first points of this international, this vital 4 Nations match. It's in effect a semi-final. I know there's no such thing as a semi-final, but it's sudden death tonight. Whoever loses, it's all over.
And it'd be a great relief for the English coach Tony Smith, because they have not started well, England, in this tournament. The 2 games have been behind at half-time. They've shown a lot of character and come back in the second half, but it's all about playing for the full 80. And this will be a tremendous boost to get 6 points on the board just after 10 minutes. Super stuff.
And they're playing with conviction, and they're getting over the advantage line, and they're looking strong. And they're looking eager when they're called on to defend, and they're looking eager when they're chasing these high kicks like that from Sinfield. Whoa, O'Hire's lost it. Sinfield's got it, it's knocked forward. What a shame.
Had the chance as well. He was all over the shop, wasn't he, the full-back, Lance O'Hire. And they just couldn't get it back. It was an opportunity there. And how quick is Kyle Eastman in reading the play on 2 occasions. Scored once, nearly made it 2 within minutes.
Great hit. Sam Burgess is up for this. Perrott really felt that. No way through for Benji Marshall. Morley and Burgess again. Good run from Luluwai. He was standing wrong, though. There was Adrian Morley, not standing square.
Tremendous play there by Luluwai. He knew perfectly well that the big fella Adrian Morley had not even got behind, not even straight, certainly not 10 metres. And if you're not behind your first marker, then he has to be penalised.
We've just seen the value there of a quick play the ball and what you can get from it. You'll either get a penalty or you'll get plenty of metres down the field. New Zealand, I don't think, have been at their best in that department because they've been well controlled by the England side. The try to me, it was no surprise because England have won that area in terms of ruck speed so far. And that's something that probably we'll talk about in the... There's another penalty given there from Terry
He can't give the
Bear.
penalty that way. He called held, the player offloaded the ball.
Well,
It seems a strange decision, Eddie.
I think he's said that the ball by Bridge was stolen, I think, and that's why the penalty has been given. Chris Bridge, the former Irish international, of course, and he's playing his second cap or winning his second cap for England, having played against Wales the other week. This is Adam Blair. I know that it's very early days and England ahead 6-0, but, you know, the Kiwis have lost their last 3 visits to this ground. They've not won here since 1998. Great hit by Gareth Ellis on Fui Moi Moi. This is Luluai. Here is Fien. Now Marshall. Marshall flicks the ball back on the inside. It's Junior Sau. A real handful.
Good work by Michael Shenton there. Anticipated the inside pass. Collared it.
Luluai will fire the pass. He'll find Fien. And Fien, all the space here for Ohio. How wide they go. And they're in the corner. It is Goodwin with the try in the corner. The referee hasn't given it yet, though. He wants to check the grounding. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. And over in the corner goes Bryson Goodwin.
That's a try. No problem whatsoever for the video ref tonight, Phil Bentham. Well, they were caught out wide. This will be confirmation. It is, it's TRY.
Try for New Zealand. They've hit back, they responded. His 4th try at this level. 22 points for this fellow against France last week from a try and 9 goals from 11 attempts. Only 3 men in New Zealand Test history have actually scored more points in an international for the Kiwis, and he's about to try and add the extras.
And this is the wall steal by Chris Bridge. No doubt about it. More than one in attendance, and from that position, the penalty. And they got caught out wide there. They were just stumbling a little bit. There was nothing that Kyle Eastman could do about that. It was a 2-on-1 situation. And you'll see that the defence goes out. Chris Bridge, he just hesitates, and it's sufficient to create the overlap. If you're going to move out of the line, you've got to make sure you take your man. You don't leave yourself in no man's land. And this fella, Bryson Goodwin, has responded for the Kiwis. Can he square it up?
Wasn't a bad little pass either, was it, from the young debutant Kieran Foran on his inside. Godwin had the extras. No, he can't. Terry O'Connor.
You've got to give some credit to Fui Moi Moi. Every time he gets the ball, or looks like he's getting the ball, all the English forwards are zooming in. They were really short. They were really caught short out there. Kyle Eastman was calling for players to come over. Goodwin come up with the perfect try, but just watch this clash. Adrian Morley said, don't panic, we're on top in the forwards, let's keep taking it to them.
There he is, Fui Moi Moi, 8th cap for his country, looking forward to renewing his hostilities with Sam Burgess. They clashed here 2 years ago, and much has been made of that personal battle that will be going on out there tonight.
Well, the most important thing for Burgess's case is just to ignore it. Just get on. It doesn't matter who's out there. If it's a black and white jumper, just crunch him.
Well, there he was. It was Burgess who got to Moi Moi then. Put him on his backside, but the ball had gone. There's Foran. He'll play the ball on the 4th tackle. Blair gets it wide, and here is Soliola.
Well, after only 16 minutes, I get the impression that Stephen Kearney, the Kiwi coach, has got the message out. We do not want an arm wrestle down the middle. Let's give it a little bit of width. They've already scored a try from that.
Sean Briscoe was a little slow, really, to react to that. He allowed the ball to bounce in front of him. Maybe had he taken it on the full, England would have been on the front foot. Maybe just didn't feel confident enough to come and take the ball. It looked a poor kick, but it wasn't a bad kick in the end because he found ground, found the pitch.
At least Ryan Hall is able to get his hands on the ball a bit earlier than last week. I think it was 30 minutes before he got really to touch the ball. By New Zealand kicking straight down the field to Sean Briscoe. It gives Ryan Hall a chance to get involved more.
This is Tompkins. Good ball, gets it wide. Bridge. Big hit by Pritchard. Sinfield nearly tackled Chris Bridge then.
That's a quality that Sam Tompkins brings to any side.
Here he is again.
His ability to step, it just confuses the defence. He's going to go on his own. It was a neat pass out wide as well. This is a good chase. Solid. Look how many white jumpers are there.
Lance O'Hire is grounded by 3 of them. 17.5 minutes gone. England with their noses in front, but New Zealand, world champions, and in possession here with Bryson Goodwin, their try scorer. Gets the ball in field to Nuasala, do the Kiwis.
Be interested to see when Stephen Kearney throws onto the field Isaac Luke, who really has turned it on. That's a big brush off. I don't think Maul is too well.
Isaac Luke, it was a tremendous run from him. This is Frank Pritchard now for the Kiwis. What's Morley like? He's just being checked. Seems like he's okay for the moment to carry on, although they're watching him very closely indeed. High kick. Well claimed by Ryan Hall. Good defence though from New Zealand.
Good work by Peter Fox as well, because it took a while for the English forwards to get back into some semblance of organisation. They've got to. It's been pretty torrid in the opening 18 minutes.
Here's Peacock and he's making a little break. Just couldn't get the ball away, the England captain. 10 metres inside the Kiwis' half of the field. Sinfield to Ellis. That's the last tackle for England.
Oh, nearly dropped it, Ellis there.
Sheesman. Up they go again, they're giving it plenty of air tonight. Briscoe's after this. Oh, Lance O'Hire's knocked it forward, but the referee, I think he's said offside against Briscoe.
Not required 10. Did he interfere with him? He just dragged him back slightly as well. Oh, that's well spotted by the French official, Mr. Alibert. It was a huge kick though, wasn't it, from Kyle Eastman?
Adrian Morley's left the scene for the time being. And Earl Crabtree has come on, the local hero. Morley takes his place on the sideline. It was a big collision, wasn't it, just a few minutes ago?
It sure was, Eddie, but just to go back to Lance O'Hire, I've seen this happen before in games. He's been put under pressure now twice. Whether Sean Briscoe was offside or interfered with it or not, I'm not sure, but he made a poor decision earlier in the game too, where he allowed a ball to bounce, and England could have capitalised that and score. I think he's going to find there's plenty of ball going in the air to him tonight.
Brilliantly collected, but what a hit, what a hit. It was Waria Hargreaves and Burgess and Crabtree all over him. Bill?
Yeah, Adrian Morley, well, they took a bit of time to make their mind up, and he initially insisted that he was okay, but the medical staff overruled him, and a big roar as Earl Crabtree comes on the field in his place.
Here's Lance O'Hire. New Zealand creeping forward. That's a good ball on the inside. Pritchard again. Wants to get up and play it quickly, and Bridge was hanging on to the jersey, trying to slow the play, the ball down. Can't do that at this level.
No, you've got to be away once you've done the work. And it was silly play there by Chris Bridge. That's the second occasion he's given away the penalty. And on the first one, the Kiwis scored.
Surprise inclusion by his club coach, of course, Tony Smith. And England are being penalised heavily. New Zealand's 5th penalty they've just received. And here now is Feen, and it's Marshall. Marshall trying to slide the kick in. It'll get another set of 6 here on the end of that, surely. No, did he play it? No, the referee says the tackle count continues. Lucky to get away with that, Benji Marshall. Here now, Junior Sau.
Well, England have gone on to a man-on-man marking now.
No hands! Heads out! No, it's fine. Go.
Luluai to Feen. Good tackle, tremendous tackle by Crabtree on home soil. Luluai finds, Hargreaves run without it. Briscoe will try the counter. That's a penalty for England, surely. It's exactly the same as Bridges.
Yeah, should have given it. There's a big fella, Crabtree. Quick play the ball. That's the key to England at the moment. Just took his eyes off it, didn't he? Waria Hargreaves. And a little look at the defence coming to him.
This is Sinfield now. And And problems for Gareth Ellis. Just a touch of blood on the top of the nose, between the nose and the eye, as Peacock drives it forward once again.
Been pretty impressive where that England are sharing the work as well. The likes of Peacock, Morley, Graham getting through into it. No, I'm not so sure that was a wise option from Graham to give it to the thin full-back Sean Briscoe.
Poor kick from Eastman, it is, straight down the throat of O'Hire.
Shocking.
It's a poor kick and a non-existent chase.
New Zealand gradually getting themselves more and more into the picture here.
I'll tell you what, Eddie, though, it's an interesting point. They are being out enthused, in my opinion, by an England side that have started particularly well. They've obviously set their goal out to get to the 20-minute mark and be on top of this game. Now, they've just forced an error there from New Zealand. Sam Parrott, I think, is the man who loses the football in collision.
Well, let's give Kyle Eastman some credit. We were critical of his kick the moment he kicked it. Didn't seem to be any of his teammates to help him out by getting down there. But he's worked hard from the marker, and he's putting his opponent under so much pressure that they get the ball back here in a good position. I think both sides, Eddie, a little fatigued here. 23 minutes into the game, they both want to catch the second breath, and it's just dying for play here now to explode through a hole.
Well, he's got not much experience, has he, Kyle Eastman, but he showed plenty there. That was definitely a ball steal, not seen by the official, and a big smile on his face. Now then, can they drive forward and then give the three quarters some opportunity? We haven't seen the England outside backs get much chances yet.
There's one of them, Ryan Hall, struggles to his feet, plays the ball to Sinfield. Here is Graham back to Eastman. Eastman shaped to go right, went up the middle on his own. Sinfield waits again. England inside the 20-metre zone. It's with Tompkins. This boy's a match winner if he wants to be, if he gets the opportunity. Would have been a penalty, but he was looking for it, Tompkins. Here's Peacock. Gets the ball away all along the deck to Sinfield. Sinfield with a kick over the top, looking for the winger out wide. Tackled in the air. Benji Marshall tackled him in the air then. It's a penalty.
He knocked on before he tackled him, I think, didn't he? He knocked on before he made the tackle.
This
No, you're right, Eddie.
That's a penalty. He never even goes for the ball. He's automatically gone for the man. And Peter Fox has got no option but to not take this. How can you... Well, that is a penalty.
Come on, guys!
Well, not only a penalty, Steve, in my opinion, it's 10 minutes in the sin bin. That's a professional foul. There's no question about it. Possible try-scoring situation. I think England have been hard done to there, and New Zealand have used one of those get-out-of-jail-free cards.
Well, we're giving Thierry Alibert and all the crowd on a bit of stick as well, but where on earth was the touch judge in a situation like that? There's Matolino, the ball eventually coming back to Sam Parrott. And Tony Smith couldn't believe the decision either. This is Luluai. Westwood is out there, so too is Crabtree, as you see. And he's come on for Peacock.
I was going to say good work again by Thomas Luluai.
Good kick, this.
Very good kick.
Great kick. Not out yet, it's not out. Oh, there's a right mess. Briscoe has made a complete not a porridge of that. He seems to have a little lack of confidence at the moment, Sean Briscoe, to me.
It's called pressure, Eddie. Big crowd, so much hanging on this game. Well, that is a shocker, and he knows it.
I mean, my mind goes back to when he didn't take the kick downfield on the full and didn't run it back. He does that week after week for Hull KR. Of course, it's a big step up, isn't it? It's a huge step up.
That's what I said. This is all about pressure. And it doesn't come much bigger than this. They realise. Lose this one, you're gone.
Come on.
You're on your holidays.
Goal line drop out for England then to halfway. Nathan Feen. Here comes the run from Jeff Lima. He missed last week against the French, injured. He was injured in the draw against the Australians. You see his left leg is heavily bandaged when he gets the ball again. It's a physical encounter as Waria Hargreaves plays the ball. Here is Benji Marshall, pops it back, then here's Pritchard, such a danger, the second rower from the Penrith Panthers club. It's Luluai, it's a good ball flat to Lima. England dealing with the threat, but there's still 2 tackles left in this set of 6. The red for danger sign is flashing for England. It's with Luluai. Here is Benji Marshall. Bridge gets to him, but he still managed to get the ball away, and England have it back.
And lucky, I think he knocked on as well.
James Roby was first to see the danger there.
And being part of a team is about helping your teammates out when they make a mistake. And the England defensive effort there after Sean Briscoe's error in goal is admirable. You know, they've shown that they've got a great spirit here to work for one another. They've come up with possession, and it was an important moment in the match.
He's lost it, it's a knock-on. Well, there's a lot of arms and fingers and all sorts going into the tackle, trying to release the ball. Graham couldn't hang on to it. There has been a little bit of rain late this afternoon, but it really shouldn't have affected it so much.
If that was a knock-on and the Kiwis picked it up, why did the referee blow for the scrum? That was a golden opportunity for the New Zealanders. It must have been because he shouted hell, was it?
Stay behind, guys.
Your guess is as good as mine, Eddie. It's not only the players that are feeling the pressure.
O'Hire gets the ball out to Perrott. Oh, Benji Marshall did not like what Sam Tompkins did after him. He went for him.
And there's pushing and shoving. The referee has said, well, play on. Don't mess about. And there was 3 England players more interested in getting involved in the fracas than getting on with the game.
Well, Benji Marshall took a right swing at Sam Tompkins, I can tell you. I watched it. Here is Waria Hargreaves. He goes down on the third, that they are 8-9 metres away from the line, New Zealand, and they are penalised, England, because Earl Crabtree is claiming that he was being held on top of him. He had hold of his shirt, sir, he said. But Thierry Alibert unimpressed.
Well, in such a vital game, Eddie, I've got nothing wrong personally against the French referee. But is he really capable of handling a match of this magnitude? I don't think he is, to be fair. And this is where Marshall certainly made one, hit the mark. Tompkins felt it. Ellis said, well, it won't be anything stupid, but I'll just be his protector.
Benji Marshall, Gareth Ellis, West's teammates in the NRL, and the coaching staff, Messrs Smith and McNamara, just making a note. And England being absolutely caned in the penalty count, 6-2. And Benji Marshall levels the scores here. I beg your pardon, not Benji Marshall, it's Bryson Goodwin. Bryson Goodwin levels the scores here, 6 apiece.
Eddie, I've got a bit of a theory about the penalties. I think that England have set their stall out to actually hold down in the tackle, and I think they're prepared to give a few away. It's very obvious to me that they want to be the first people up. They want to control the play. They want to make sure that New Zealand don't get those quick play the balls and therefore can't get a roll on and upset the way they play. And I think England have been prepared to give a few away, and they have given a few away, and really it hasn't cost them that much.
England will know, but I'll tell you anyway that a draw is no good to them whatsoever. England have got to win. New Zealand have the luxury of knowing a draw will take them to Ellen Road next week. And they've already had one, of course, against the Australians in the first week of this tournament at the Twickenham Stoop. You don't play for draws in rugby league. You play to win the game, and that's what England have got to do.
And you talk about winning the game, that's the reason why Stephen Kearney has thrown this fella on. Isaac Luke, he is a talent, and that's going to be a penalty. Now, again, they're conning the official.
I think he's spot on, Steve-O. I mean, the first one was a con. I think the second one, that's a con. But look, he's in the way. You've got to get out of the way. 7th penalty.
The one thing you know if you're watching off rugby league is that penalty counts tend to even themselves up. If England can survive this tough period here now, where they've been starved of possession, they'll get plenty of ball later on, but they've got to deal with some powerful charges by the black and white jerseys. Look at the leg drive there.
Well, England started this match really well. They were on the front foot. They're very much in the contest, of course. Here is Isaac Luke. Good ball to Junior Sa'u. Such a rough house, this Junior Sa'u. 22 years of age, 4th cap tonight. Plays it back to Luke. Luke then to Nathan Feen. Benji Marshall picked that up brilliantly. Not the best pass, though. And a right schmozzle from Bryson Goodwin.
Well, that comes about by what we call doing a set pattern move. You run through as a dummy, I will then throw it behind, and then it goes to ground, and you make a right meal of it. Sometimes they're told what to do when I often despair. Why don't they just do something off the spur of the moment? if you see the opportunity, go for it, take for it.
But Brian Carney mentioned that in the build-up, in our build-up to this match. He said England should just try and play off the cuff. Yes, they've got a game plan, but just throw caution to the wind here tonight.
Well, they did it against Australia last week, didn't they, in the second half, and that was the difference.
Most coaches, though, Steve, will give you a licence to play what you see, but you still have to have some structure to your game, don't you?
England get the penalty, and ironic applause around the ground.
Well, there's so much messing around, trying to hold them down. And the substitute, Isaac Luke, gives England a golden opportunity. 2 drives. And then let's see what we've got in the 3 quarters. It was a nice switch, though, from Graham, wasn't it?
There's a penalty. It's all
simple.
over Michael Shenton.
I'm sorry, Eddie, but I don't think this guy's up to it at this level.
Second! Heads out!
Here is Sinfield again for England. He's made the break. Great run from Sinfield. Important tackle from Lance O'Hire. Roby fires the pass wide. It's Tompkins. Hauled back.
He slipped rather than take the step.
Well, it's a right mess because it's been allowed to be a mess.
Benji, come on.
I think he's calling Benji Marshall. He should also call the England skipper to him as well.
He's spot
Too
on.
much penalties, or is it tackle?
Messing around, grabbing shirts, doing this.
In his leg.
People rolling around on the floor, trying to milk the penalty. Let's get on with the game. It's the second occasion. Isaac Luke has given away a silly penalty.
England going for broke here
Heads out!
with Graham. Roby fires the pass back to Tompkins. Here is Eastman. He'll come back this way. Eastman
Second!
taking them on, having the confidence to do that.
Come on, guys!
Isaac Luke again all over the top of him. Roby gives it back to Sinfield. Sinfield then pops the pass to Briscoe.
Just came a little bit too early to the fullback. Could have just anticipated a bit, and when he got the ball, he was virtually there, standing still. Got to move on to it.
Roby and Tompkins and Ellis.
Four!
Junior Sow stood his ground. It's Roby again.
And that should be a penalty. One of the New Zealand defenders there wasn't set, wasn't square, wasn't even back on side.
Okay.
Not the best from Shenton, but it finds Tompkins. And the kick, oh, it's over the top, and this is again. And it's Peter Fox. Peter Fox has scored for England. Lovely floated kick from Tompkins. And lovely play from Peter Fox.
And a very confident decision by the referee here, because I'm not sure from the position we're sitting that Fox actually grounded this ball before he passed the dead ball line.
I think he went on his back.
Oh, I think he got it down okay.
Well, it's 4 points on the scoreboard, and that's all the England fans are bothered about.
Yeah, it certainly is, but it wasn't the best pass, and by the time Tompkins got to it, he was under a lot of pressure. Got taken down, messing around. It really is becoming a bit of a disaster out there in that department. Shocking pass, took it on the bounce, straight into the corner, and when Bryson Goodwin completely miscalculated the kick, in comes Mr. Fox, no doubt about that at all. Plenty of room to spare.
And Peter Fox, he grounded it. It did look from up here, and we're about, what, 50, 60 metres away from the action. It did look as though the grounding was questionable, but not for the touch judge, not for the referee. And so Peter Fox, 5 tries now in 5 England appearances. Sinfield to add the extras. Yes, he does. Super League's top goal kicker, Barry.
I watched England before the match. They were practicing that. They're looking to attract the Kiwis into the middle or to one side and then leave one of the wingers or one of the fringe players isolated. I'm also picking up a lot of finger pointing, a lot of shouting, a little bit of sledging. I think something a little bit physical's on its way.
Well, if it's on its way, the physicality, Barry won't be upset at ground level. I suppose if they wander towards him, he might be a bit upset. But knowing Barry, he'd get involved, wouldn't he, Steve-O?
Yeah, and to be fair...
And Terry is made from the other end and run and help out.
Listen, it hasn't been Chinese checkers, this, has it? I mean, it's been pretty tough out there.
Roby.
There's some tough tackling going on.
Roby saying earlier in the week he wants to be an 80-minute player. He wants to be a player that starts a match, not necessarily comes on and makes the impact. Good run from Bridge, meanwhile. There is Roby again, gives it to Sinfield. Up it goes again. This is a definite tactic from England. High hanging kick, lost. England will have another set of 6 here with Tompkins. The high kicks are causing pandemonium in the New Zealand defence. Roby, Ellis, strong run from Ellis.
They're having all sorts of problems, aren't they? Perrott on the wing, O'Hire the full-back, not confident with the kicks at all.
Crabtree! Great offload! Roby! Couldn't get away from the tackle of Ben Matolino. Graham. Oh, Ellis has found its way to him by him. This is Tompkins! Tompkins struggling for the line, he's over!
He's held up though. Good positioning by Mr. Alibert. Will take it back. It's tension there on the face of Tony Smith, the coach.
Tompkins plays it. That was Roby. Here is Sinfield. Crabtree, the short ball. Plenty of tackles left in the bank here.
Will Eastman take them on?
Well, there it is with Eastman. No, he gives the pass wide. It was a bit of a fumble from Westwood. That's the last for England. High kick again, maybe. It's with Eastman. It's a dink. Looking for Tompkins. Oh, they have it. Almost. It's a knock on. It's certainly a knock on by the Kiwis.
Well, the kicking game is just making the Kiwis fall apart.
Matolino making a porridge of it this time. And England rushed to the scrum.
He had a second go at it, couldn't control it, under the pressure of Sinfield. And the crowd are reeling in behind the home side now. Will they work the blind side move? There's Shenton there on the left-hand side as they attack. Again, Will Eastman asked the question.
More quicker.
Got the quality, got the step.
Come on. Go!
Sinfield to Eastman. Oh, there's a chance here. It's Peter Fox. It's a second try for Peter Fox. England end the first half on the up. Six tries in 5 appearances now. So disappointed, this young man from Elkingston Rovers, to miss the first 2 games of this tournament. He was desperately unlucky not to make the World Cup last year, and he's come up with 2 tries off the wing tonight that has changed the complexion of this first half in England's way, in a big way.
All came about by the big error of Matolino. They got the scrum base, and this is absolutely classic three-quarter play. See how they hesitate. They come out of the line, inexperienced, Kieran Foran. The Manly youngster, inexperience has cost the Kiwis a lot. Foran's in no man's land. You can't allow Bridge to go and give him space like that. Fox says thank you very much indeed. It only takes half a yard, but if you move out of it and give them the opportunity, and this winger, Peter Fox, goes in for his second. I know we're getting all excited about it, Eddie, but remember, we had a commanding lead against the Kiwis in the World Cup. We should have held on to that, and I'm sure that'll be in the half-time speech by the coach, Tony Smith, to concentrate even more.
The conversion then from Kevin Sinfield. He adds the extras to the fantastic Mr. Fox.
Well, that was interesting. The Kiwis so surprised by that flowing move. They're actually watching the replay on the big screen. No doubt the kicking game has improved this week. Phil highlighted it, pointed it out. There's 3 kickers, there's Kevin, there's Kyle, and there's Sam Tompkins, causing all kinds of problems.
And Peter Fox with his second try. England in the box seat as we reach half-time. leading 18 points to 6. There is the half-time siren. They started the first half well, they ended it spectacularly. It was a bit of a slugfest in the middle. Eastman's try and Sinfield's goal on 9 minutes, 6-0. Goodwin's try, Goodwin's penalty goal after half an hour. It was level. But then, in stepped the fantastic Mr. Fox. 2 tries, 18-6. England, then 40 minutes away from the final. Live pay-per-view boxing coming up from Germany. It's the fight being billed as David and Goliath, as David Haye takes on the 7'2" Nikolai Valuev for the WBA heavyweight title. That's tonight from 8 on Sky Box Office, with the big fight taking place shortly after 9:30. More information, go to channel 743, where you'll find details of how to book using your Sky remote. That's channel 743 for details of how to book the fight. England ahead here at Huddersfield against the world champions, 18 points to 6. They're 40 minutes away from the Four Nations final.
It's quite interesting that the only one of the 34 players not on the field yet so far in the first half was John Wilkin for England. I've seen him warming up. Whether he gets on the field, we'll have to wait and see.
Game restarts, and underneath the kickoff is Kyle Eastman. Here is Crabtree, desperate for a big game on home soil. Wonderful off-road to Roby.
Great stuff. It's all about composure now, England, for the next 10 minutes. Make sure they get over the advantage line. Good kick and chase. The attacking kicks, unbelievable in that first 40 minutes from England. 9 against 2 from New Zealand, and it really has put a lot of pressure on the Kiwis. They have not been able to handle these attacking kicks at all.
Westwood gets England to the halfway line. Tackle number 4, nearly lost the ball there because the big Frank Pritchard tried to step over the top of him. Here now is Crabtree. It was a wonderful offload from him just a few tackles ago, and Roby in a dummy half. Finds Graham. James Graham looks very, very much up for this. He has done from the first whistle tonight. Roby, back he comes to Sinfield. Up goes the kick again. This aerial bombardment is causing the New Zealanders all sorts of problems, and Perrott deals with that threat this time.
This is the offload there from Crabtree. This is one of the reasons why Tony Smith wanted him out there. He's such a big unit, we know that, but the ability to offload there, it allowed James Roby to get about 15-20 metres downfield. It is so important.
Wait.
There is Big Earl. And Jeff Lima here for the Kiwis to halfway on tackle number 4. Isaac Luke. Great run from Isaac Luke. Good offload to Lancer High. Oh, they've got men in numbers out wide. I think Junior Sau went the wrong way. No, he hasn't. Wonderful pass. Wonderful drive. Men Matalino. New Zealand strike first, started this second half. It was all down to Isaac Luke. It was a wonderful run from him. They're so dangerous when this fellow's on the field. The man from South Sydney. But it was Ben Matalino's try. Test debut off the bench against the French last week. He played 18 times for New Zealand Warriors this year. There's only one substitute appearance from them since August the 9th.
I think it's been the start of the competition so far as this fella, Isaac Luke. And Stephen Kearney tries to keep him on the bench for as long as he can. You thought that Junior Sau had done the wrong thing, but it's a beautiful little dummy, wasn't it? And Matalino gets the Kiwis back into this game. Just what they needed, but I'm afraid they were caught very badly with England round that play-the-ball area. They've got to keep an eye on Isaac Luke.
As we keep an eye on Bryson Goodwin to see if he can add the extras, and he can. Barry.
Eddie, that was right in front of me, that the pace that Isaac Luke took out from dummy half, and he had all the runners that he could choose from, but he chose to take that tackle, made the ball available, then it went through hands. And I think Stephen Kearney, when he got excited at half-time, would have said, look, let's just calm down, play the things that we're good at, which is good pace, good power. Brian Carney highlighted it at half-time. The England boys will run him very strong, and I think Stephen Kearney would have challenged his Kiwis to run even faster and harder.
That's a mistake. That's a big error from the kickoff by Sam Perrott.
He's not the best under the high bomb, is he? And even though that was dipping through, he knows he should have taken it. Stephen Kearney would have been overjoyed by the fact that they'd got back into the game. How many times do we see that in the game of rugby league?
England with the try right on the stroke of half-time. New Zealand with the try right after half-time. 18-12 here in Huddersfield. England, though, with this chance. This is Briscoe. Roby's the man in at dummy half for the English. 17 metres away from the line. Graham will take it forward again. Roby once more. He gets it to Sinfield. Back it comes to Eastman. Not short of confidence, Eastman. Roby fires the pass wide. Tompkins. Short ball to Ellis. There was no way forward for Ellis then.
Well, again, we see a forward like Ellis just standing still, not running onto the football. It's all right doing the switch.
England have switched the attack here. That's a great ball. Westwood. Important tackle that by Nathan Feen. This is Sinfield. Crossfield kick from him. High. High. Perrott again asks the question. Not forward. Play on. Or is it? Knocked on by England in the in-goal area.
Well, he had to play the advantage just in case he went all the way upfield. Didn't.
Tony Smith and Steve McNamara alongside him. Warrington and Bradford Bulls, club coaches, brothers in arms for England tonight. It's Isaac Luke again.
It's so important that England maintain that physicality they had in the first half. I thought the forward pack were absolutely magnificent, not only when they were defending, but also when they ran the ball. And as Brian Carney rightly pointed out at half-time, there was a lot of shared work. Their back three worked very hard, as we see an error there from the New Zealand side, but the back three worked overtime. There was help coming in from the centres. They just shared the workload. I'm sure that Tony Smith has said, look, go and do the same thing, but make sure you maintain your intensity. You drop off at any side, this side will come back at you. And there was obviously a warning sign fired very, very early when New Zealand were able to score in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Forward pass from Adam Blair.
The stat at the top of your screen tells you a lot of the reason why England are in front, Eddie. New Zealand, uncharacteristically in this tournament, have come up with a high number of handling errors. There was a forward pass which has given England possession. We saw a knock-on from a kick-off restart just 3 minutes earlier. And the Kiwis are helping England here to inch the way forward to next week's final.
Roby and Crabtree.
Good work by the big forward as well. Kiwis trying to hold him down, trying to stop and prevent England from having a quick play the ball area.
This is Sean Briscoe again, but Pritchard collared him. He wants to get on with it. That could easily have been another infringement by the Kiwis. Westwood does well, gets the ball away to Graham. He finds Eastman. Last tackle here for England.
Got to go to Perrott, hasn't it? It's been a real problem.
It's gone along the ground, looking for the runners down that side.
He didn't look too confident either, Sam Perrott, when that ball was bobbling around.
Better on the deck though than up in the air, he'll say, Steve, won't he? Let's get down to Bill quickly.
Adrian Morley's been out of action for a while. He did come off after taking a bit of a hit quite early in the play, and good to see him back out on the sideline, ready to rejoin the fray. Jamie Peacock alongside him, so they're sending the big guns out there. Mind you, Earl Crabtree hasn't done a bad job on in place of them, because considering he underwent knee surgery just about 4 weeks ago, it's a big effort from the Huddersfield Giants player.
Yes, it is, but Peacock and Morley will return shortly. Just letting the pace of this game and letting New Zealand work through this set of 6, then they will be on. Kick right down the middle of the field.
That's much better.
It's a great kick, this. Oh, it's just going to stay. No, it isn't. It just went over the dead ball line. It's better from Nathan Feen. Crabtree and Graham go off. Morley and Peacock come back.
Nathan Finn's kicking game in that first 40 wasn't too impressive either. And they've got them for being offside.
It's
Well, they never made any
Soliola,
attempt.
who's the man who's been penalised.
Made no attempt to get back onto the 10. 10 metres, that is, when from the tap.
So Kevin Sinfield will buy 20 metres ground for the English. They'll restart 10 from halfway. Morley, first touch since he's been back on.
You get the impression, OK, there's only 6 points between you, but to me, England have controlled the game a lot better than what the Kiwis have.
But that's 6 points, Steve-O, that is the...
I know.
That's the crucial thing.
A draw, and we keep thinking about it. That's all the Kiwis have to do. You don't have to win, a draw will do them.
Tompkins, and here, oh, great ball from Sinfield, finds Ellis. Ellis plays the ball quickly to Roby. This is Shenton. Shenton gets it away to Ryan Hall.
Oh, nearly got in there.
He
had the
nearly
numbers.
It's Sinfield again. Slides the kick over the top. That's not the best from Kevin Sinfield tonight. Benji Marshall diffuses that situation.
He read it well, didn't he, the New Zealand skipper? It had to be as well. Get him back on the 10. It's nervous times. I wonder if Tony Smith might be thinking about sending the message out. If you get an opportunity, just go for that extra point. Just gives you that buffer, doesn't it?
Well, generally, he's not a great fan of it, but the thing is, Steve-O, England need the extra point because, as you have said, and as we've said all night, they can't afford to have a draw here.
No, and that's what I'm saying. If it's, there could be how much petrol left in the tank, get the opportunity, just go for the one. They've got enough confidence out there, the likes of Kevin Sinfield.
Blair will play the ball here to the danger man, Isaac Luke. He's brushed away from Roby. He got the ball away. They're keeping it alive. Lands so higher. Here is Nathan Feen. Now the danger man, Benji Marshall, trying to go inside the England defender. Chris Bridge dealt with that threat well. Up goes the kick from Feen, and that's right up in the air, straight up in the air. Who wants it? Morley does.
Now first, move.
10 minutes of the second half gone. One try, second half to New Zealand. They trail, though, the world champions behind, 18 points to 12.
They really are up and down, the Kiwis. A few moments ago, I was praising the good kick from Nathan Feen, and then that one, well, he was shocking. He went back 3 yards.
We've just seen John Wilkin come onto the field, a fast and versatile player, maybe one who can exploit some tiring players here for the New Zealanders. Chance here for England to press.
And it's with Tompkins. Little half break from Tompkins, hauled down by Junior Sa'u on the last tackle. Roby gets the pass away, and no! Shenton over the top looking for Ryan Hall.
He had to take the gamble. It wasn't the best pass coming to him either. And he knew that the man was there. He had the overlap, and Ryan Hall knew all he had to do was get that good one. He was in.
As England, they have lost the last 4 against New Zealand, and actually they show just 2 wins and a draw from 7 since way back in 1908 as England. Of course, Great Britain is a different kettle of fish, a totally different story. And they actually won the Test series here 2 years ago by 3 rubbers to 0. It was a whitewash for the Kiwis. Well, Bridge and Nuasala. Whoops. Well, something's being said, and there's a little bit of verbals going on. It is a penalty to New Zealand, no doubt about that.
Well, the verbals have been going on all night, but you expect that at international level. And they just pushed him away and just retaliated slightly. It was, they've got to keep their composure. The 6 points are not going to be enough. I do not think that 6 points at this point in time is going to be enough when it comes to the end, because this New Zealand outfit, they're capable of scoring tries. We haven't really seen the magic sidestepping from Benji Marshall.
That was Marshall. This is Fui Moi Moi, and England after him in numbers. He's standing, though, standing firm. Eventually goes down on the second tackle. Plays the ball here to Isaac Luke. Good short ball. Ooh, he said it was forward.
I think he got it right
Not
as
sure
well.
about that. I'm not sure about that.
He's definitely forward. High.
Yeah, slightly. Not much in it. Oh, on this angle, that looks all right, doesn't it? It's amazing what the different angles can give you, but the man there with the whistle, if you're an England fan, you'll be happy.
No, I think that's a poor call by the referee, but anyway, it's to England's advantage. But one thing that you're speaking about, Steve-O, was the fact that Benji Marshall, I'm sure that he will have an influence in this game at some stage, but he will struggle to have an influence as long as England maintain numbers in the tackle, slow the play the ball down. You just don't get any offloads and you don't get the quick play of the ball. New Zealand really haven't been able to get into any sort of rhythm with their game plan at all, and that really is a credit to this England side, the way that they've been defending and the way they've been able to roll down the field. See, offloads like that we've seen come from England more than we've seen from New Zealand, and we expect New Zealand to play that sort of rugby league, but they're just not able to so far in this game.
3 on 3 then. It was Kieran Foran on Chris Bridge. This is Eastman, pops it up for Morley. Moi and Nuasala bring Adrian Morley down. Last tackle here. Now, what's the kick going to be like from Tompkins this time? It's high again.
Not a bad one.
Oh, Lancel Hire is dodgy under those.
You wouldn't put him back your house on him, would you, to take it every time? 100%. Good effort there by Sam Tompkins.
Remarkable, really, because O'Hare, 2 tries in Toulouse last week. 7 tries in his last 7 internationals for New Zealand. Man of the match against the Aussies at the Stoop. You know, there's an argument for saying this fella's been the man of the series till tonight.
And you don't forget, though, the first 6 years of international career, he spent time at standoff, scrum half and hooker. It was only injuries to Kiwi fullbacks, really, that eventually put him there at last year's World Cup. And admittedly, he's done a good job in his last 10 test matches from that position. He's not naturally a fullback, and it's taken him some time to adapt to the role.
Nuasala is going nowhere. That's the last tackle. They're still inside their own half, New Zealand. Isaac Luke. And the kick to Peter Fox. Trying to go round Marshall. Fends him off, but can't get away from the next 2 who are in there quickly. Soliala was one, and Waria Hargreaves the other. Here's Ryan Hall.
When you've got a lead, okay, it's only 6 points, but you've got to make sure that when the kick comes to you, that you don't lose the possession. It is so vital now. England have to just build, get over the advantage line, and then apply that pressure. We keep mentioning the fullback, O'Hare, is dodgy under it. So is Sam Perrin.
That was a forward pass from Tompkins.
Dearie me.
Well, I can't wait to see this
If the
again.
other one was forward, that one certainly was.
Yeah,
No, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't agree. I can't agree with that. I think it's a flat pass because Sam Tompkins just drifts back a little bit. Okay, it might give an impression, but I got to say that's a tough call to me.
Okay, Sean.
Do I need glasses?
No, you've got an opinion, and why not let everybody know it?
Yeah, there was plenty of people said the Earth was flat years ago.
I thought it still isn't it.
Here's Moi. Nothing flat about him.
The crowd have gone a bit flat though, Eddie, because it's the first time
Yes.
New Zealand have started possession. First tackle so close to England's line, and they're looking with a backline shot to exploit some challenge.
It's Goodwin. He bounces off Eastman. He gets away from Fox, but England come in numbers and they wrestle him to the ground. They've still got 3 tackles remaining, though. They're 10 metres away. O'Hare. Here is Benji Marshall. Now it's Nuasala. Surrounded by 4 white jerseys now. Down he goes.
Come on, guys!
Referee wants them to get out of the way. I mean, there's been messing around in the ruck from both sides, to be fair, tonight. Marshall. That's a great bit of work from Sam Tompkins.
Now, can the Kiwis give it some height?
They do, out wide. Nathan Feen. Peter Fox is underneath this. Godwin's underneath this. Peter Fox, he has diffused that in goal. That's a 20-metre restart.
Oh, it was bouncing all over the place. He did well to get it on the second occasion. Boom. Oh, got to get it. Well, that's the first real good high kick that we've seen from New Zealand.
Here's Ryan Hall now for England.
Second! Move!
It's tense now, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's why the crowd's gone quiet.
They've just got to settle things down. You don't do anything over elaborate. Just make sure you get field position. And then utilise that high bomb again.
Here's Peacock,
So effective in the first half.
With me, wait. Well done.
Roby and Sinfield. Back it goes to Briscoe.
5.
Last one for England in centre field.
Hold, go. Okay, all
And
on.
up it goes, off
Too
the
far.
boot. It's Wilkin who's out there. There he is, John Wilkin. Hasn't played since the grand final. And his first international since that World Cup semi-final defeat 51 weeks ago. How will we ever forget it?
Go.
Luluwai was the dummy half. He got the ball away to Soliola.
10.
Well, we're only seconds away into the final quarter, and England not even interested to shape up, drive towards the sticks and maybe add that vital drop goal, that vital extra point.
Luluwai's kick.
Is a beauty.
It's going to ask Briscoe to run it out, and Luluwai does well.
Well, that was nearly a farce, wasn't it? It looked as though it stopped, and then tackle hadn't been completed. They all had to turn around, look at the official and say, can we play on?
Shenton takes it forward, halted by Blair and Nuasala.
This is a vital set of 6 for England.
Morley
Oh.
promotes the ball to Eastman.
Nearly was away, wasn't it?
Well, I suppose in some ways you have to throw caution to the wind if you're going to beat New Zealand. But it doesn't do the heart rate any good.
I'm wondering now whether Tony Smith gets a message out to Kyle Eastman and say, look, instead of playing down the middle, go a little bit wider, play on towards the centre area.
That's a good kick from Sinfield. It's just run slightly over the dead ball line, so they bring it back 20 metres.
Because Sinfield's the type of player that we've seen when he's playing for the Leeds Rhinos, and he did it in the semi-finals and the final. Has the ability to miss out 3-4 men, and you get the speed of Eastman out wide, not in the middle, but just adjoining the centre. Wide of the ruck, that's what we need, something different.
Well, the game had to stop then whilst Kieran Foran got back on side. He hasn't played for 7 weeks. It's his first test match. He's into the final quarter here. This will be a test of his concentration. This sport tests you physically. There's no question about that. You will need to watch it once to know. But it's the mental concentration needed. And here's a lapse, a penalty, a vital one that goes against Michael Shenton and England.
Well,
Oh, come on. I'm sorry, but...
well you get out of the way, Steve, when you don't put a hand on them. You don't give the Thierry Alibert the option, do you? Harsh, I'll agree, but you don't give him the option. Now then, this is a vital set of 6 for England. Junior Sao.
Look, top class, experienced referees, Eddie, they realise that at this rate, international players, it takes it out of them. They're getting a little bit tired. You've got to have a little bit of flexibility.
This is Nuasala, the 10 metres short of the England line. Luluwai is scheming. He gets the ball away to drive in from Maria Hargreaves. That's the England line. Here is Luluwai. Comes back here to Nathan Feen. He looks wide and finds Benji Marshall. He pops it up to Moi Moi. Fui, Moi Moi. They bring him down. This is Marshall. Here is Feen. Comes back. 2 players miss him. Gives the short ball. It's O'Hire. And here now is Foran.
That's tremendous English defence. Not one person came out of the line. They knew exactly what they had to do. It's got to be a good kick.
And it's high from the boot of Nathan Feen.
Not a bad one.
It's flicked back. It's play on. It's with Marshall. Now it's
Oh,
out.
he dropped it. Now then, what was the first knock on? It's the turnover. Well, he had the opportunity. It went backwards, fumbled with it. Oh.
Well, Benji Marshall, just 13 tests previously. Probably should have played a lot more, but shoulder problems have dogged the Kiwi test captain throughout his career. Bill?
Eddie, Phil was mentioning the fact that Kieran Foran was feeling the pace. We saw him desperately trying to get back in line for that tap 20 a few moments ago. Well, in fact, they've decided that they can't risk having him out there for this crucial final quarter of the game, so Foran has been replaced.
Yes, he looked out on his feet. Really did. The emotion as a teenager, 19, of playing your first Test match, and then, as Phil has rightly said, not having played for 7 weeks.
Oh, no.
A little knock-on by Kevin Sinfield. It's a zero tackle, beg your pardon, by Sam Burgess.
He tried to offload it, and you don't really need to do that. Remember, we are in front.
So used to seeing Kevin Sinfield wearing 13 both the
Yeah.
club.
Great tackle.
Look at
What
get
a
away with
great
that.
tackle by the captain.
But it went backwards is the view of the referee, so New Zealand can come forward again here with Jared Waerea-Hargreaves.
Well, I mentioned the defence of England just a minute earlier ago, and I must say that they've done well. Remember, they had a problem in the first half against Australia down that right side, and Chris Bridge, and of course that's where they're putting Kyle Eastman in defensive line. They haven't missed a tackle yet. Let's hope it keeps that way.
Here's Benji Marshall. Pritchard just plucked that ball out of the air. Well, it's New Zealand's half in terms of possession, but England clinging on to the 6-point lead for the time being. Knock on against Soliola. He can't believe it.
He got a fingertip to it though. Whether he can't believe it or not. Or did he?
Don't think he did, you know.
Maybe he's
And
been
if he did, it went backwards.
Been harshly done by here. No, I don't think he had his hand to it. He had a look at the French official and said, well, you know, who knocked on? I didn't.
Big quarter of an hour in the English cause coming up.
It needs good, hard, solid work from the forwards. They've got to get somewhere near the halfway line. They've got to get back to control in the kicking game, which was so effective in the first half.
Next try wins it, do you think?
Yep.
Here's Roby. Tompkins wants to get on with it. Graham. Moi picked him out. England not getting over the advantage line quite like the Kiwis are. They're now over halfway. On the way to the sideline here, though. Managed to stay in the field of play somehow, Michael Shenton.
Get it up. Oh, that's good
Sinfield wants
pressure.
to charge down. Picked up by Frank Pritchard, though. There's a danger.
Well, we're at that interesting point of the game. I just watched this charge down here, which could have been fortuitous for the England side, but New Zealand were able to retain or gain possession there. But we're at an interesting point of the game, aren't we, where New Zealand really have to now win this match. I know a draw is good enough, but they've still got to score points. They've got to score a try at least to put themselves in position and rely on the conversion being taken. Whereas England have a mindset where they know they don't have to score, yet I believe if they do score, that New Zealand can't come back. So it's an interesting one. You can't afford to be negative. You can't afford to look at the clock or the scoreboard. You just have to go out and keep playing. And if an opportunity presents itself, please take it.
It's the last tackle here. They're running it. That's a nice dab to the in-goal area. It's a lovely ricochet as well. Lance O'Hire was hunting the opportunity. Briscoe came to the rescue for England. Just got a little dink off the post there. Look, just took the pace off the ball. Put pressure on the England full-back.
Good work, the two full-backs in competition there. Briscoe got back in time. England fans trying to lift them.
This is when you find out how far you're prepared to push your body here. There's an amount of pain that everybody has to accept, but England will have to go beyond that here now if they want to defend this set and stay in this game, a critical juncture.
Second goal line dropout the Kiwis have forced. And here they come with the big men up front. Frank Paul Nuwasala. Luluai and Moi.
And you can see that both sides are tiring now, and that's, was that above the horizontal? Went very close to it.
It was. Bridge was taking a risk there. O'Hire. A little bit of lady luck, a little bit of fortune smiling on England there.
And of course the Kiwis defensive, that they've really upped the tempo here. It was a very good ricochet, wasn't it, in the end? But England finding it very difficult to get anywhere near to get themselves in a position to go for that 1 point.
Yeah, I think if they got up this other end
They've
now,
got to,
I'm sure they would have a crack at it.
They've got to, because I think that 1 point will just demoralise their opposition.
It seems an eternity, though, since they've actually been in a position of threat on that New Zealand line. And Sinfield with the kick. It's a good kick, too. The chase, though, from England has to be good. It's a solid straight line.
great defence. Good kick and chase. That'll lift the confidence now. It's a matter now of saying, hey, come on, this is your turn. See if you can get anywhere near the halfway line. Try to force the error. That's what England's got to do. But most importantly, make sure you get back to the official.
Yes, no penalties.
No penalties. You can't afford to give Kiwi 40, 50 metres downfield. Cheap field position.
Luluai and Nathan Fien kicking very early in the tackle count.
It's a good one too.
It is, but now it's going to run dead. It's going to skip dead.
They'll be quite happy to get dead on that 30-metre line, and
it's a bit of a negative play, though, that isn't it, for New Zealand? They've got to score.
Well, they're trying
a converted try.
I don't think he intended it, Eddie. I think he wanted it to sit, didn't he? Just on around the try line. It did kick on, rolled harder than he expected. And it's a slugfest down the middle of the field at the moment. Who's brave enough, who's tough enough to handle the shots like that?
Yes, Fox doing well. Here goes Graham for England, spinning out of one tackle, but Adam Blair came back and got him down.
And this is where the tables can be turned now.
One good, strong drive up the middle would do.
And this is where
Burgess provides it.
This is where the kick will come.
25 metres, one-pointer, Sinfield, charge down, knock on by Soliola. England will get the possession.
Well, he was under a lot of pressure, Sinfield. He put himself in a good position. That was a great dive, wasn't it? Super stuff there. Wonderful stuff by Adam Blair. But Soliola could not get the ricochet. Well, they've thrown down the gauntlet. Sinfield, no, they've had the message. Obviously, Tony Smith says, and this is where you just drive in and maybe confuse the Kiwis. The Kiwis might be so interested in trying to prevent, so you put Sinfield one side and then go the other. Use a bit of kidology.
Here's Sinfield now, this is Crabtree. He'll trundle it forward underneath the post. That's a great run from the home boy. Crabtree will play the ball here. It is with Graham. Here is Briscoe. Penalty under the post, 2 points on offer.
That'll do us. So, that'll do England.
Surely they'll take the two.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
I think they can make a mistake. I've seen teams do this before. They think here with 2 points that the game's won. And in fact, to a certain extent, when New Zealand scored at the Stoop to go 20 points to 14, Eddie, with about 4 minutes on the clock, I think they celebrated as if they'd won the match. It ended up being in a draw. Now, this is the message I think that they're going to send on to the players. You must keep playing, maintain your concentration, even though you're going to have an 8-point lead.
Well, you are right, Phil, in regards to that. Remember, the Australians went for the short kickoff. Obviously, I feel that the Kiwis have got to do exactly the same thing. So the concentration factor of the English lads has got to be, they'll go for the short one. Let's make sure we've got numbers out there to defuse the kickoff.
Well, he's the top goal kicker in Super League for the 3rd year in a row. And Kevin Sinfield does not miss those. So, 20 points to 12. New Zealand now have to score twice. Here's the penalty. That little roll coming up here from Adam Blair on Briscoe, right under the nose of the referee Thierry Alibert. And a few complaints. Short kick-off coming up. Knocked back. Oh, they've got it. Brilliantly won in the air by Soliola. And it was Goodwin who picked up the pieces. That was Pritchard. This is Moi Moi. And New Zealand immediately back on the front foot with 8 minutes to go and 8 points the difference.
They've got to defend for the life. Nobody comes out of the line.
Here's Isaac Luke. This is the danger man.
Stand your position. Do not go for glory. That is the message Tony Smith will stay. Man on man.
Oh, great drive in here from the prop forward. He was so close, was Nuasala. England defending the line for all they're worth. Marshall. Pritchard again. Good England defence. Last tackle here. It's with Marshall. Slides the kick in. It's too deep. He was looking for Perrott, who came sliding through.
It was a planned move. Nathan Feen knew that the winger had come in. Just jinked it straight through. He was in a position, but it was just a little bit too strong. No finesse up the jumper. That's what's needed. Halfway line. Good kick and chase.
7 minutes to go. 8 points the difference.
Control, that's what has got to be the key now from England. And again, that's good work by Peter Fox. 2 tries. And he's really put himself about.
Graham with the drive in on tackle number 4. Sinfield is there. Gets the ball wide to Tompkins. Tompkins will just kick towards the corner. Lanso Haya will have to run this ball back. They're defending at the right end from an English point of view. Oh, hang on. Perrott.
Good job, he just got back in time, Michael Shenton. You could see a bit of an opening there. It's desperation time now for the Kiwis. They're going to try something different. Instead of the long kick, it's going to be a chip over the top. I've noticed that Sean Briscoe is not standing deep. He's anticipating... I'll try again. He's anticipating something.
Isaac Luke, he steps out and challenges Isaac Luke.
So elusive, isn't he? And that could have been a penalty. Gareth Ellis was very lazy on him.
Last tackle here for New Zealand. That was Matolino. This is Nathan Feen. Little kick over the top. Now then, it's an enthusiastic chase. It's a very enthusiastic chase, but it's well done by Ryan Hall. Tompkins to Briscoe.
Pretty calm. It was a good kick as well, right into the corner.
New Zealand's turn now to hunt the mistake from England.
Tick, tick, tick. That's what's going through the minds of all these English players, meaning that the seconds have to be run down. Great work by Sinfield. He really has marshalled the troops. Oh, why do you want to do that? He went backwards, but why on earth do you want to do that?
And he's lost a bit of ground there for England.
Could have lost possession, which could have been very costly indeed.
Great run from James Graham.
Super stuff.
Sinfield. Great kick. Great kick. But he's well positioned, Lanso Haya.
Well, he's looking for support, but I'm afraid there's no one going to him. Oh, tried to kid them by saying that he hadn't got the energy.
4.5 minutes remain. 8 points. Is it enough for England? That's Perrott. Good tackle by Shenton. Blair. England standing firm. Blair. No, his arm was free then.
That's got to be a penalty. He never made any attempt. Crabtree get back, got away with it.
This is Nathan Feen now, attacking the line. Not the best pass. Oh, he did well.
Did he?
Well to hang on to that, Isaac Luke.
Unbelievable how he got to that on the second occasion.
Last one. Ohio and Marshall. Dink over the top. Well claimed by Sam Tompkins.
He may only be a young fella, this fella, but I'm telling you, he read that superbly. He anticipated. What was going through his brain, he will be saying, if I was in their position, what would I do? Chip over the top. He read it.
Well, the captain's returned to try and steady the ship for the last 3.5 minutes. Here's Gareth Ellis. England just looking to put the icing on the cake here. He's got the penalty, Gareth Ellis.
Take your time, belt it into the corner.
Ben Matolino all over the top of Ellis.
I wouldn't even bother going for the attempt at 2 from the penalty. This is where you eat up the clock, bang it into the corner. Sinfield has got enough confidence and experience to be able to do that.
England are 3 minutes away from the Four Nations final.
And it's been a tremendous effort from them all round. They've all done their job. The biggest problem in that first half against Australia was the defence out wide. It hasn't been a problem tonight. They've been solid as a rock.
This is Ellis again. Oh, he's in touch, is Ellis. And New Zealand will surely race to the scrum. And he knows that with 2.5 to go, that wasn't the smartest thing in the world to do.
Time off.
Especially from one of the most experienced as well, Gareth Ellis, who has had a tremendous season down under
Stay behind.
with the West Tigers.
Back in.
2.5 minutes to go, 8 points. England will be pleased about the penalty from Sinfield. Here come New Zealand down that flank, but Tompkins doing his job well on Sam Perrott.
Certainly
Injured
did.
though, was he? He's hurt there.
Yeah, I think it was a high shot as well. Swinging arm. Here's a big fella, Moi. Oh, he's lost it.
Stolen.
Oh, he's going to give a penalty. Oh boy, how's your nerves, Eddie?
Well,
Mine's shattered.
they've got the 8-point advantage, which is going to be crucial, I think.
Well, the only thing we've got to worry about then is the 8-point try. If they score, just don't commit a penalty.
I'll just keep taking the tablets, Phil.
Wait. Go.
So here come New Zealand, who have had the better of it in the second half, but England's defence has been solid.
Forward.
They took a lot of heart from that second half against Australia last week.
Okay.
Dab towards the in-goal area. Briscoe will just let that ball go. And there was a push in the back on the England full-back as well, which Benji Marshall was fortunate to get away with. They touch a chance they're on. England are on their way to the final. They wanted another tilt in Australia, and they're going to get it.
Well, they've been absolutely outstanding tonight, haven't they? They've taken the physicality out of the New Zealand side, and they took it out early. Tony Smith went with a big forward pack, made a change. He put Kevin Sinfield up to hooker and started with a massive forward pack. And he was able to get his team to assert themselves very, very quickly. And they took a lot out of the New Zealand side, something that we don't see all the time. We normally see the New Zealand side very, very physical indeed, but we've just seen error after error, and these have been forced, Eddie. These have been forced errors by the England defence. They've been absolutely outstanding defensively, and when they've had the football, they're running out of dummy half. Their shared workload has been absolutely outstanding. A very much improved performance, probably built on the second half of last week's effort against the Australian team.
A little bit like a run to the grand final this Four Nations has been, hasn't it? Not how you start, it's how you finish. Ben Westwood might have been finished then. Well, England don't need to get involved in this. It was a shocker on Westwood, I think. It was Fui Moi. Not the best. Westwood's all right. He's a tough cookie.
I think the incident itself was just a high tackle and a penalty. Then there was some pushing and shoving going on, as probably you'd expect from some frustrated players who perhaps before the match expected to make the Four Nations final. They look as though they could be going home on Monday.
Well, Westwood's all right. And England have got 15 seconds to play out. They're counting down to a place in the Gillette Four Nations final. It's all over. England have seen off the world champions. Tony Smith has fashioned a team that can have a real go at Australia next week.
But we've seen that England are tough enough and they're strong enough. Next week in the final, we'll find out whether they have the skills and the decision-making ability, particularly when it comes to defending against the Kangaroos. A much improved performance, one which has lifted the crowd, lifted the confidence of the English players, and I'm sure takes them through to the final in an exciting fashion.